Jeanine Pirro is a former, was it New York or New Jersey judge? I think it's New York.
I think so, yeah. I think New York.
A judge in New York, and here's what she had to say on people revealing the names of gun holders.
This week, I've been thinking about the reason publisher Janet Hassan and her Journal News gang, who managed to ignite a national firestorm, gave as the reason for the creation of their interactive map of gun permit holders in Westchester. Quote, we felt sharing as much information as we could about gun ownership in our area was important in the aftermath of the Newtown shootings. Now, let's parse that one out. In the aftermath of the shooting of innocent children, you, the Journal News, think it's important to what? To out us? Think about it. You think it's important to out us in the aftermath of the Newtown shootings? How dare you connect law-abiding citizens who've gone through rigorous background checks, who've been fingerprinted, investigated, and received judicial approval to exercise their Second Amendment right? How dare you compare them to a nut job on the lunatic fringe in desperate need of medication, playing violent video games for days at a time? How dare you compare him to battered women in hiding, to the families of police officers, and to judges and DAs like me? This animal massacred innocent babies. He didn't have a pistol permit. He didn't go through a rigorous background check to get a pistol permit. He took someone else's gun. And by the way, although it's none of your business, there's a reason people have guns. We don't need your sanctimonious permission. And you dare put our families in danger? You pry into our lives? You put our privacy and security and our safety in jeopardy? And then you have nothing to say? Let's follow your reasoning. If certain records are public, should we also publish the names of people receiving food stamps, getting unemployment, those on welfare, the mentally ill? Should we give people maps to their homes? There might be a good reason after all. Maybe people on unemployment are working off the books. Why don't you out the nearly 40,000 criminals as DA my office and I prosecuted every year? The thieves, the rapists, the drug dealers, those who possessed illegal guns and used them in homicides. And by the way, in my 30 years in law enforcement, I can remember only one legally registered handgun used in a murder. These are the people who've already shown that our laws are meaningless to them. And how about a pedophile? Let's map the way to their homes. A child is certainly in more danger of a pedophile in the neighborhood than a legally registered handgun. Why don't you just admit it was an immensely bad idea, that you exercised poor judgment or no judgment at all, that it was a cheap anti-gun stunt that, by the way, is turning out to be pretty expensive for you, you champions of free speech? You're losing subscriptions, advertisers, hiring bodyguards for your home and the workplace. There's a call for a national boycott of your newspaper. How are you going to explain that one to your board of directors in May?
Okay, she's pretty much taking care of it there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. She says, why don't we just out all of the pedophiles? In some places we do. We do say there's a pedophile living in this house. They have to make, they have to tell the sheriff, the local sheriff, exactly where they're registered, and you can look up the pedophiles. But here's somebody who has broken the law. Here's somebody who's not just broken a law. I mean, you're in a completely different category when you're a pedophile. Completely different category. If there's a pedophile or a cannibal that moves into my area, I'd like to know about them. Because I don't think you could cure cannibalism, and I don't think you can cure pedophilia. If you're somebody who was a thief, or you're you had a DUI at one point, you're a felon, I don't think I need to know about you. If you're a repeat offender and you're dangerous, you should be in jail. You should be in jail. But I think there are some things that you cannot cure. And you're a criminal. By outing those who have handguns, I'm not a criminal. I've never done anything wrong in my life. I think the worst thing I've ever had was a speeding ticket. I'm not a criminal. I play by the rules. I do everything I'm supposed to do to the best of my ability. It's getting very hard to figure out what exactly you're supposed to do because there's an awful lot of things that you're supposed to do now. But I've always played by the rules every day of my life. I've tried to. I shouldn't say that. Every day of my life. As soon as I'm clean and sober. And I've tried to. You going to out me because I'm an alcoholic? You can't really cure that. No, but I didn't do anything violent or anything else. I am a law-abiding citizen that went and I got what I got legally. It's my right to have it. It's better to compare somebody who is getting unemployment or welfare from the government to a gun owner than a pedophile. Because the gun owner is doing everything right. The person who is getting unemployment or welfare, we expect you to be innocent until proven guilty. There's a presumption of innocence here, that you're doing the right thing, that you're trying just to make it up, and do the best. But I can tell you that there are far more people that are getting welfare that are being dirtbags than go through the fingerprint and everything else, and they get a gun. There are far more dirtbags that are wasting our money and breaking the law, going and doing things. Why are they using these welfare cards at strip clubs? So should we then put everybody's name down and say they're getting government assistance? No, we shouldn't do that. Why? Because if there's ever an anti-welfare rally going on, if anybody ever tries to demonize these people, you would immediately say you're putting these families, these families should be presumed that they're good guys. Show me the ones that are bad, and we'll get them. And prosecute those people and make an example out of those people. But leave everybody else that is taking welfare and everything else, leave them alone. And if you ever try to demonize that group, those groups are in danger. Well, that's what they're doing to gun owners. They're demonizing everywhere. They're in danger. And they're saying, by the way, they have something that you criminals want. Here's their address.
This is a great point. Can you imagine on the other side? We're talking about a right that some people say is a right. Some people disagree with that. It's a controversial issue, gun ownership. Imagine if a conservative paper printed a list of all the gay marriages with their addresses. Just printed them. Can you imagine how people would react to that? Mm-hmm. And believe me, I don't support that at all. We should not be printing those lists, do that, obviously. But imagine how the media would react if some conservative paper did
how
that.
The media would react if we reprinted the name of all the women who had abortions.
Oh, my God. That's a great point.
All the women that have had abortions, well, we're not saying anything bad about it. We're just going to put their names in the paper, and we're going to put their addresses.
Yeah, you should know, just so you can see demographically where these abortions occur generally.
You just want to see the demographics of where all the people who are involved in gay marriages, where they live.
Yeah, it's
Nobody would say that that's reasonable by any stretch of the imagination, and everyone would say that puts those people in dangerous from crazies. Why isn't it the same respect shown to people who have guns? You're putting these families in danger from people who are crazy or criminal.
And I would say even worse, you're putting the families that aren't listed on that map in danger. Now criminals know they don't have guns. You can go to, hey, let's check that list and see if these people own guns or not. Then we'll know where to break in.
How about if somebody moves? How about if somebody moves that gun, sense that, because that list will be used for quite some time by criminals. How about if somebody moves and they're coming after your guns and they want your guns? And, well, I don't have a gun. Yes, you do. You have a gun. It says right here. That's not me. What happens then? Do they say, I'm sorry, I believe that it's not you. Okay. I'm sorry, I got the wrong house. Do you know where they moved to? What are you, crazy?
Yeah. This paper will be subject to one of the largest class action lawsuits in American history.
The one that really sticks out to me is the woman who had a stalker.
Yeah.
And she moved away to get away.
Knows where she is again.
Knows where she is, knows she has a handgun, and is calling her again.
Yep.
That is unbelievable.
I mean, she should own these newspapers. I mean, it's only worth about $10 now. But
why would you want to own such a liability? I don't understand that. Yeah. She wins. You have control of the newspaper. Now you get to pay all of its bills and get no dollars from subscribers. Congratulations, you're in the worst business in America.
She put all these people out of business. All of them.
They're doing that themselves.
No, I know
luckily
that,
they're doing that themselves.
Yeah, but the court of law can actually help them. I mean, there's no case. There is no way that you can't sit in front of a jury in today's world and say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this woman had a stalker. She had to change her whole life, move, disappear, buy a handgun. Now, because of these people, that guy knows exactly where she is.
I think they're criminally liable.
Criminally liable.
The law says this information is public, though. How can they be criminally liable? The law itself says this information is public. That's their out. They're going to have some sort of legal out there.
To publish?
Yeah. It says it's publicly available information. So, I mean, I just think it's a dirtbag tactic. I don't know that it's illegal.
You just don't do it.
Yeah.
Everybody with any common sense. If it's public information, is it public information on gay marriage? Yeah, you could go down to City Hall and get the records of everybody who's married.
Same with abortions, probably.
You could do that. Yeah,
dig that up at Planned Parenthood.
Maybe probably not.
I don't know.
That's probably confidential. But the gay marriage thing, and no one would say that's a good idea. That's a stupid idea, a horrible idea, and it puts people in danger. Nobody would do it. Yep. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you do. There is a difference between rights and responsibilities, and that's the problem. Everybody talks about their rights, and they'll do anything because they have a right to. Instead of saying, what is the responsibility I have towards society, towards humanity, and just towards my own being a human being, you have responsibilities.